Hello and welcome back to another live stream. And welcome back to the aftermath. I am back again with Alfie as I was on Friday when we previewed the stream. Say hello, Alfie.
What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing good today.
Uh, I know you're doing good. I'm fucking not. Make sure to like the video when you come in and subscribe, of course. And yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. Obviously, when we were talking about the game on the preview, Alfie, we were both a bit pessimistic about how we were going to go into it. And the first 20 minutes, you could argue West Ham were a bit in it, but then all of a sudden, set pieces. That'd been a strong point for Arsenal, and
Yeah.
you score, and you were 4-0 up at half time. I feel like, what was your reaction to the first half, especially?
I mean, as you said, coming into the game, we were a bit pessimistic. I was a bit worried whether we'd actually click into gear early on. And for the first 25 minutes, it did look like that. It did look like it was going to be a cagey game and we were going to nick it at the end. But again, as you mentioned, set pieces, been a strong point for Arsenal this season, especially since we've got Declan Rice taking the corners on that left-hand side now. Because I think during the midway point of this season, we had trouble beating the first man from corners, but as soon as the first goal went in, we clicked and we just started gunning, funnily enough. And we, for lack of a better word, we battered you.
Yep. Listen, that's fair. That's fair enough. Like, and it's funny, Declan Rice sometimes took corners for West Ham, and you could see that you can strike a ball well, but it was like on set pieces. I didn't like him on set pieces at West Ham, so he's clearly improved that even in the summer, and just he worked on it personally himself because he's already been put on corners before, and it was coming. When I was watching the game, I was on the other side, just seeing the corners come in, and I'm just like we don't look as strong from corners as we usually do when defending them. And I watched the analysis of Match of the Day too, and it just points out like what the fuck is this like the disorganization of actually defending a set piece is not very David Moyes like, and it's not very like of some of the players like Souček, Zuma are very good in the air, but I didn't see any of that from them. And
no,
and 4-0 at halftime. Like some of the goals were preventable, but some of the goals were really good. Like the set piece goals are always, in my opinion, preventable.
Yeah.
But Trossard's goal, Zuma could have done better for that. But Trossard, great goal. He was starting in the full starting. Was you surprised that he was starting?
Well, I knew that Nketiah was fit. So originally I did think he was going to play Nketiah up front on his own. Alternatively to that, I thought he would have played Kai Havertz up front, but I feel like Trossard did deserve the start because of the performance he made against Liverpool, the impact coming off the bench, getting the third, and he carried that momentum on into the game yesterday, got a goal again, and was part of another brilliant Arsenal performance.
Something I realised something like before the game, like usually going into Arsenal, West Ham, or going against Liverpool or Man United, usually get a lot of these cocky fans online that the West Ham they don't know what's hit them today. But before this game, a lot of Arsenal fans were even saying I'm worried more about this game than I am the Liverpool game, and I was like, well, I know what's going to happen now. I know something's going to surprise them, and lo and behold, like you battered us, and a lot of people are worried about your bench, because of the injuries that you had. Smith Rowe, another injury. Zinchenko, another injury, etc. Like there was, and Tomiyasu is just coming back. And Kai Havertz out for a 6-0 game. You got to capitalize on like a team's weakness, and I don't think Kai Havertz did anything. Like, to be honest, I think everyone else did very good in your team. Like everyone, literally everyone. And then Kai Havertz he was still mispassing 5 yards. He was still not in the game. I was like, bro, we're literally we're there. We're there for the taking. You might as well score. But was any part of you even expecting 6-0?
I wasn't expecting 6-0. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't expecting 6-0. If anything, if we was going to win by a big margin, the least I was expecting was the same against Liverpool, a 3-1.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought it was going to be a cagey game. Thought we were going to nick it at the end with a late goal, as we always do against teams like West Ham. But to come away with 4-0 at half time, seeing a mass exodus of West Ham fans at half time,
it
was a sight to behold.
Yeah, I wanted to leave at halftime, but I didn't. I should have,
I
but I
wouldn't
didn't.
have blamed you. I wouldn't have blamed you.
My mum never leaves games, and she's been a fan forever. Yeah, and she was like, "Should we leave? What should we do?" Because we drove there, and there was no trains, so it was
Yeah,
even worse.
I respect
Uh,
that though. I respect that. I feel like for me as a football fan, I feel like if you're going to the game, stay till the last minute, no
mm.
matter how bad the result is. Try and encourage the team in any way that you can. But unfortunately, yesterday for you guys, it was unencourageable.
If
We
it
were
was 2-0 or 3-0 down at halftime, I would understand. But it's just that most of these lot that left anyway are they've been there for years. They've seen it all, and they still left. And I think the reason why is they pay for their ticket. They're like, well, we've seen this before. We all saw this coming. Like most of us saw this coming. I tried to think of it from the side before the game of a toxic positive fan, and tried to think, okay, yeah, we haven't lost since the Everton game in October. Okay, usually we have some joy against Arsenal this season. I tried to think of it from that perspective, and I tried to think of it as, well, the win's coming. The win's going to come eventually. But obviously, the toxic positive fans were not right, and
no.
I didn't see any positives from that game apart from I don't know why like the game was done anyway, but he took Alvarez and Zuma off, and Zuma was terrible, but so was Naya Faged. I'm sick of this
I
guy,
had
bro.
no idea. I had no idea why Moyes brought on Calvin Phillips at halftime. That just didn't make sense to me. He had a shocker in his first game for West Ham. You're 4-0 down. Why would you bring on someone who's hardly had any minutes this season?
I'm assuming it was legit just so he could get minutes in the first place, but I would have said bring Corday on, bring Danny Ings on. They never get minutes, but at the same time, it just went to shit very quickly, and I don't understand the mentality from the players. I don't understand. I'm saying the same thing week in week out. I don't understand the lineups. Like three centre midfielders that are not creative. Now the Paquetá's gone, you got to switch it up. Against Bournemouth, he played four midfielders. He played Ward-Prowse on the left. He played Phillips and Alvarez behind Souček in a 10. Like this guy does not know what he's doing anymore. I don't know how we were even sixth in the first place. We're gonna
Not to
drop down
mention
even further.
not to mention he's playing a right back in midfield.
Oh
It's not.
God,
It's
Ben
not. It's not Ben
Johnson.
Johnson's natural position. I
Oh,
know as well as you that he is a right back. He's a defensive player. He's more
mhm.
defensive than Zinchenko.
Yeah, yeah. Like because Ben Johnson has played. I said this on my match reaction. Ben Johnson has played every position for West Ham apart from number 10, striker, and goalkeeper. He's played every position. He's played centre mid. He's played DM. He's played centre back in a back three and a back four. He's played left back, right back, both wing backs, and he's played both wings. This guy's played everywhere for West Ham. And he's not
Does it
that
just speak
good.
volumes? Does it just speak volumes that potentially David Moyes he might be tactically inept?
Oh yeah, he's done. He's done it. He's trying to do historian tactics in this day and age, and we're not in an age where you can lump it up anymore and just like lump it up for the sake of it anymore. We were just like Troy Deeney did a great analysis on Match of Day 2 about where
Yeah,
West Ham play out. We're just passing it backwards all the time. But this is the way. Not it is the players as well. But Moyes sets it out. Moyes gives the instructions. That's the reason why Zuma and Aged and Sufal are lumping up all the time. We don't coach
yeah,
on the ball in training. Like Vladimir Sufal, this guy, put this guy under pressure. He doesn't care where anyone is. He will just lump it down the sideline. He doesn't care about losing the ball. Doesn't give a shit. He will just lump it anywhere. And Moyes, and you can see it with Roy Hodgson. You see it with David Moyes. Sean Dyche can switch it up now and then. But some of these managers are they're just not ready for the they're just not it anymore. Like the game has moved on. I'm not saying you have to play football all the time, but you don't have to you don't have to not play at all. It's like it's very anti-football, like just
yeah.
in general. Like we saw like for example like Arsenal are Arsenal, but we see the way you play, and I'll tell you it's like okay sometimes we're gonna overplay, but he's like I don't want to overplay. I can switch up at times. I can go direct at times. I
Yeah,
can I can play out from the back when I want to, and that is how you. That is not necessarily the right way, or there's no right way of playing football, but he has a set way, and he's worked hard on it, and you see how it like transpires. Like
yeah.
it doesn't do that for West Ham.
No,
It's like as I said, I'm not asking for Brighton football. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for my goalkeeper to be playing through my centre defensive midfielder and for us to get caught out and lose the ball. Like Aston Villa do it as well. Like I'm just asking to get the best out of the players you have. If you've got a more attacking talent than defensive talent, get the best out of your attacking talent. Great example is Ange Postecoglou, yeah? At Tottenham, yeah? Conte was playing defensive football, 5-4-1 every game. Like this guy, like you would not see them come out of their area at times. And those players were.
I think that was definitely what you expected from Conte, especially with the way that he played against Chelsea. He had a bad start to his Chelsea career as manager, and then switched it up about 6-7 games in, switched to a 5-back, and they clicked into gear and went on to win the league. But I don't think you could do that with a team like Tottenham. They've got a lot of attacking-minded players in that team, and obviously under Postecoglou, it's working really well. Yeah,
and with 3 or 4 players that Postecoglou's bought, Harry Kane gone. He's already got the best out of a group of players that were most of them were there last season. Most of them were there when that finished 8th under Ryan Mason and Conte, and that were falling off at the time. And he's got the best out of them, and now they're in the top 4 race again. Yeah. And but this one, they look like they're working towards a project. They might not be buying big players, but they're buying project players. That's what they want to do. I'm not saying that's the right way of playing or the right way of moving forward as a club, but come on,
Van der Ven, Vicario, players like that. They're not necessarily known names, but they've definitely got the potential to be known names. And I do get a hint of what Postecoglou's doing. I do sense that they've kind of sort of copied Arteta in a way, because Arteta is a project manager. He's worked from the ground up. He's tried bringing in players that are lesser known and turning them into top quality players.
I think everyone's trying to be Pep, but I think everyone's trying to get Project Pep in terms of the fact that they might not be able to win the league, but let's see if we can get some consistent Champions League football, because that's all what owners care about, really. But going back into the game, we were talking about attackers in the match preview, about your attackers and about how they should really step up. Bukayo Saka, he scored a penalty, unlike last season at the West Ham Stadium, and he scored that other goal as well, went to make it 5. What did you make of his performance?
Oh, I thought he was outstanding. Again, it was another game where Bukayo Saka turned up. I do even I can admit he does have games where he kind of disappears, and he's just letting the game go by. But I definitely think yesterday wasn't one of those games. He was really well played. Brilliant performance from him. Brilliant to win the penalty. It was a bit of a subject decision because it could have been offside. I don't think it was offside. It was definitely on for me. I don't know about you, but it was definitely onside, and either way, it would have been a penalty regardless. Because who was it you had in goal?
Areola,
yeah, Areola did bring him down. So it was, for me, it was definitely a penalty. Put it away cleanly, unlike last season, and carried it on into the second half. Got the 5th, and had a vital part to play in the rest of the game overall.
Yeah, I haven't seen the offside back or anything, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Even if it was like a robbery of a decision, we can see the 6 goals. We didn't put a ball in the back of the net, and I didn't even need the replay for the foul. I knew when that happened, that was a foul. I knew that from straight away. I knew it was a foul. That's the only bad thing Areola did.
At first, when I saw the referee blow his whistle and him chuck the card up, I thought he was giving it to Bukayo for a dive. That was my first impression. I thought he was giving the Bukayo the yellow card for a dive, but that was the way I saw it on the TV. Obviously, I wasn't there, but I honestly thought it was Bukayo getting the yellow card instead of Areola.
Everyone at the stadium was confused. So everyone in my end was confused. Even the Arsenal fans cheered a little bit, and then they all went silent because I think they were confused on what's going on as well. I think everyone was just confused at the time, like, what's he given, sort of thing. And then it went to VAR. And then we eventually got there in the end that it was onside and there was a penalty. Overall, obviously you guys played us off the park. Was you surprised at the lineup at all?
I don't necessarily think I was surprised. I definitely think it was a strong lineup. I feel like that's one of the things that we need to do from now on, no matter who it is, put out a strong team. Obviously, we have got Champions League coming up, so we're going to need some of those players to help us in that competition. I've been told by various reports that we're going to have a fully fit squad by the end of February. So something to look forward to there. Where we've got Timber coming back, Partey potentially coming back. We've got Jesus, Zinchenko also out injured. But yeah, I definitely think it was a strong lineup for a strong game yesterday, and we definitely put you to the sword.
Yeah. No wins. No wins in 2024. It's February. It's February the 12th. We're currently recording this February the 12th. We're live streaming on February the 12th. And I have not seen a win this year. I've not seen one win. We were sixth at the start of the year. And I knew.
What point does it get to panic stations for you guys? Let's be honest here. I mean, you're still in the top 10, but you're not really in those positions to be fighting for Europa League at the moment. You never know, things could turn around. But
Yeah, no,
at what point does it become panic stations and you start to think, oh shit, maybe we could be in a bit of trouble here?
do you know what? Because we're not going to be fighting for relegation, in the board's head, there's no panic. But in my head, there's been panic forever. Like since
Yeah.
I'll say since we got battered by Aston Villa, I would say since then I've been like, because I made a video before that Aston Villa game. It was international break. We drew to Newcastle. And I was like, Joe, I'm starting to feel a bit more positive. I get it. Like we lost to Man City, but cool. It was all right. We beat Sheffield United. We drew to Newcastle. We came back. Mohamed Kudus is getting integrated into the team, etc. But then we lost to Everton, Villa, Brentford, and just about beat Nottingham Forest, then just about beat Burnley, etc. It's been panic for me since October. And I've been saying since October that we're going to finish ninth. I was like, fair enough. We're not going to finish what I said at the start of the season. I think I said something ridiculous, like 15th. But that's just me being pessimistic. I do this every season. I'm always like, we're going to finish lower than I actually think. Because at the time of the transfer window in the summer, we took so long to reinvest the Declan Rice money and to get the director of football in that Ward-Prowse, Kudus, Alvarez, and Mavropanos were all signed in August. Like it was a good window in the end, but we could have done more and we could have done it a lot earlier. It's not like none of them played pre-season with us either. For me, and for for most of the fans that don't go off sentiment, it's panic for me. In terms of the standards of we need to be competing for Europe. Put your passports away. Put your passports away immediately. We're more likely to be going to war with Russia and all them man than going to fucking another European away day after this season. I think, to be fair, I think as punishment, I think some of these West Ham players should be sent to war. How about that? Send the for Ghetto war. See how he does there. How about that? Because he was at AFCON and he should have stayed in Ivory Coast. If Morocco were one of the favourites, you should just stay there. Have a holiday. Have a holiday for the rest of the season because I don't want to see you play for this club. Like watch Saka's second goal back. This guy is getting done week in, week out. Every time he plays for West Ham, we got done in by Leon Bailey, got done in by Solanke, Colton Morris, and Adebayo from Luton. The guy got a red card against Chelsea, conceded a penalty against Liverpool, missed a whole fucking header against Man City when it was the slowest drop ever. The guy is awful. The guy is shocking. And Zuma is fell off a cliff. The guy gets so many injuries. I think he's lost his legs now. He's been a good defender for West Ham.
I think he might be better off kicking cats again.
Oh my god! Oh my god! If he's sure at this point, just kick him out the club. Fuck it. He's our captain, bro. He's our. I like Zuma as a player and etc. But he's definitely 45. The guy is peaked. The guy peaked when he was at Chelsea. First season. Then he got injured, lost his pace. Then Chelsea didn't want him. Then we got him. I was very happy with the signing. I was like, I wanted Kurt Zuma for time. Does well for us, gets injured. And then we need him all the time. And I've been trying to bypass the comments of people saying his legs are done. But I think from the Sheffield United game, the Man United game, it was fine. But the Bournemouth game, he put Calvin Phillips under pressure. And this game, he's done. He's done as well. Yeah. It's a shame because he was one of our key defenders. But I'm genuinely saying play 34-year-old Angelo Ogbonna over these two. And that's bad. But he kept a clean sheet at the Emirates. 34-year-old Ogbonna. Him and Mavropanos kept a clean sheet at the Emirates. We start with these two absolute idiots at centre-back at home. 6 goals. It's not just them, but come on. Like, we were more attacking at the Emirates than we were at our ground.
Yeah.
We had more counter-attacks. Kudus was doing in Declan Rice and Zinchenko. Kudus couldn't get the ball. He couldn't get the ball. Like the Kivior was on him and no one was supporting him. Like Kudus was getting done in by a backup centre-back playing left-back. And because he had no support. And I don't understand some of the team selections. Like, Jared Bowen is not Antonio. Stop playing him up front.
Yeah.
Like when we play anyone up front, they have to play like Antonio. You have to fight. Like that's why Skamaka didn't do well. That's why if we assigned Amando Broja, he wouldn't have done well. Danny Ings doesn't do well here. Divine Mubama, our youngster, who is 19 and you're trying to play with his back to goal, doesn't do well here. Jared Bowen, Kudus, Paquetá, they don't play well up front because they're not Antonio. Stop this whole as soon as Antonio is fully fit, put him straight back into striker because he's the only one that fits. He's the only one that fits. He's not the Antonio. He's not the Antonio anymore, but he doesn't fit.
It doesn't. I don't know what it feels like to you, but to me, it feels like David Moyes is just making it up as he goes along.
He's trying to. What he does, he has favourites, and then he tries to move everything around, even if it doesn't make sense. To still play his favourites. That's why Thomas Suchek is still playing.
It's like those memes. It's like those memes that they made for Ten Hag, and one of the let's put it into a West Ham scenario. They're like, Moyes speaking to Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips is like, do you know what you're doing? And Moyes says, no, tell Jared I said hi. That's what it feels like to me.
Oh my God.
It just feels like he hasn't got a plan. And even if he does have a plan, especially he must have had a plan yesterday. After half time, that plan went out the window.
If David Moyes, let's say David Moyes goes, let's say every club in the Premier League has to get a manager in. What club is getting David Moyes?
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think he's getting anyone better than Luton.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Luton are happy with Rob Edwards as well.
Yeah,
doing a good job.
I mean, I'm 100% sure that Luton would take Rob Edwards over David Moyes at this moment in time.
Yep. I think the only two clubs that would genuinely go for him because of their one of them because of their delusional board, and one of them because of sentiment, would be Everton and Crystal Palace. Because Crystal Palace, Steve Parish only likes English managers. He didn't like Vieira. We just sacked him, but Hodson's doing much worse, and Hodson's still here. But those are the only two clubs I can genuinely think of that would genuinely hire David Moyes.
Like Brighton, Everton for me makes sense.
Yeah,
Everton makes sense because of the sentiment.
Yeah, Brighton aren't getting David Moyes. Aston Villa are not getting David Moyes. Newcastle are not getting David Moyes. Those are the teams we should be up there with. Brighton are going to be above us very soon because we're not winning again. We're not winning at the shitty ground. At the shitty ground, we're not in front. We're not winning at the shitty ground, and we're not beating Brentford at home. We have not beaten Brentford ever in the Premier League. They're becoming the new Brighton for us, where we never beat them.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney's back. Ivan Toney, he didn't need an introduction. This guy scores every week. He's got the Cookie Monster voice, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And that is why I'm saying, Mikel, get the deal signed and done.
Yes.
Arsenal, you see, if a player like Toney on that team.
Oh my God! If we had played Arsenal yesterday with fucking Ivan Toney up front, it would have been a record. Worse. It would have been 10-0 at least, because there wouldn't be a Southampton joke anymore. There wouldn't be a joke about 9-0 Southampton, 9-0 Bournemouth against
the
Liverpool.
new Southampton.
Do you know how embarrassing it is to be the new Southampton? They are the BTEC. They were selling out to Liverpool a few years ago. They were selling all their players to Liverpool. They were opening their arse crack for Liverpool. They were opening their arse crack for Brendan Rodgers. Lallana, Lambert, Lovren, Clyde, Mane. Van Dijk. Yeah. Imagine what I'm being the new Southampton. Talk about when the Saints go marching in, man. Shut up. I'm saying I hate that chant so much.
That's it.
Yeah. They're coming. They're gonna come back as well. They're doing well in the Championship. I fucking hate it.
Wait, where are they?
They're second right now. Ipswich have dropped off a bit.
I don't think that will last.
To be fair, they're on like a 17-game winning streak.
I don't think they'll come up. I don't think they'll come up automatically. I feel like worst case scenario for them, it'll be through the playoffs.
I hope so because playoffs is a lottery. Playoffs is literally a lottery. It's all of that. But for example, going forward for Arsenal, is Trossard the main guy starting up front now? Do you think he should stay there for now until the summer?
It's hard to tell, really, because you never know what sort of game he's going to have up front. I mean, yesterday, coming up against for lack of a better word, lackadaisical West Ham United side, had no plan B. don't even think they had a plan A, to be perfectly honest. Trossard was able to come in and interact, and he was able to recognise that, okay, the West Ham defence are quite weak. I might be able to take advantage here. But going forward, it's up in the air as to who I think should start. Obviously, if we'd have got Tony in January, I definitely think Tony would have been our number one, our starting number 9 for the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're in a case where we have to choose between Jesus when he comes back, Trossard, Havertz, and Nketiah. And it's, for me, it's just a game by game case of who's actually going to start up front. Because I feel like on the wings, it's clear who's starting. Martinelli and Saka.
Yeah.
It's clear that Erdegaard's going to be starting in the number 10. Declan Rice probably in the number 8 or the number 6. And then someone alongside him. I'd probably play with Jorginho, because Jorginho had a brilliant game against Liverpool, and he's always fantastic. But that number 9, the role in the games going forward, it's definitely there's definitely questions to be asked.
If Jorginho started yesterday, it would have been worse. It would have been worse.
Yeah.
If Jorginho started instead of Havertz, it would have been way worse than it was.
Do you know what speaks volumes to me? The fact that after the damage was done, we took off one of our players and brought on 16-year-old Ethan Nwaneri.
Yep.
Who,
by
the way, has the potential to go on to be an amazing midfielder.
Yep.
But it just speaks volumes to me that, all right, we'll let him come on for about 15, 20 minutes for a little kickabout.
Well, yeah, I mean, the game was done. You might as well have. You have midweek. You have a midweek game, Champions League. And I've watched Ethan Nwaneri before in the FA Youth Cup game. I was at the Emirates for the FA Youth Cup final for Arsenal West Ham, and we were the better team, like just as a team, because we were better coached. But you guys had better individuals. So like Ethan Nwaneri and Kozia Dubry on the right, I thought you guys cloned Saka, because the guy was left-footed, number 7 on the right, doing a lot of great things, but you guys just made mistakes, and then our team were just better coached to beat you on that day. And I was like, this guy's good. Who's this? And there was the guy and I knew him from the Brentford game where he got a few minutes.
Do you remember who was in goal for that game for Arsenal? Do you remember who was in goal?
No.
Because I've got a feeling it might have been Ovie Ejaria.
It might. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because I did just want to say, if it was, I'm actually really proud of that boy, because I used to go to primary school with him.
Really?
Yeah. And
wow.
He always said to me in primary school he was going to go on to be an Arsenal goalkeeper, and you know what? He's fucking done it. So big up to him. Big up to Ovie Ejaria.
I'm looking at the lineup now. He's not on there, I don't think. Sorry, it wasn't him at the time.
He might have been alone. He might have been on loan.
Yeah, it must have been, because he wasn't in the lineup. But oh my god, how can we lose? How, like, all that hard work at going to the Emirates and causing an upset after getting an injury to Paquetá, putting Benrahma on, and thinking, okay, we might be even more fucked. We have a second choice centre-back partnership going to the Emirates, essentially parking the bus, but having a good counter attack at the same time.
Yeah.
And then still trying to play whilst countering. And that was probably our best performance of the season, due to the fact that we defended really well and we played to the game plan, and it was against the odds. We did all of that set piece, and you guys made a big mistake for the first goal, whatever. And all of that just to do 6-0 at your own ground. That is the
against
most
the
West
team
Ham thing
against
ever.
the team you played so well against. Exactly.
Against the team that we beat twice. Like, come on. I don't understand this club. This is a typical West Ham thing to do. Like when you look at West Ham, that sums up West Ham right there. Winning the trophy, we're still talking about the manager should go, because the manager is not doing anything. He's not doing anything good right now. We're talking about beating a team that you was never ever expected to be at all at their own ground, only to get battered 6-0 by that same team at your own ground. Beating Man United 2-0 at your ground, only to lose 3-0 at Old Trafford. All in 3 months. All in 3 months.
And also being the only team to beat Arsenal at the Emirates in the league this season, I think.
Yep.
I might need to be
From
fact
that,
checked on that.
no, it's true. It's true. You haven't lost any other game. That's why it was even better that we won that game. But also now we are your biggest win in the Premier League. Biggest away win.
Yeah.
Biggest away win in the Premier League. What the fuck? We're now a record. I hate being a record. I hate being part of a record. Like, because we never break good records. We always have to be, it's on the end of this, on the end of that. Like, Jesus Christ, 6-0. That is ridiculous. At your own ground, and people are still trying to defend him. People are still trying to defend him. I'm going to go through, like, tomorrow, I'm doing a video on the media and how they're trying to gaslight West Ham fans into Moyes this and Moyes that. Paul Merson said this is not a West Ham side. I mean, this is not a David Moyes side. Brother, he's been there 4 years. He picked the players. He picked the squad. He picked the tactics. This is his fault. It's the players as well, but it's his fault. When something goes wrong at my club, I blame everything. I don't blame one person. I blame everything. So the players, I'm all for going in on players. But the manager as well. He has to take responsibility.
100%, because he is culpable. He is culpable for them players when they cross the line.
Exactly.
He sets up the formation. He sets up the tactics. It's the side in his image, and for it to not work, it just only applies pressure to him.
Exactly. And with Mohamed Kudus and Jared Bowen playing as your only two attackers, and you playing a midfielder or a defender on the left, that means you can only really go down the right-hand side and create danger. You're only going to play down one side, and the opposition are going to predict that. And that's been happening. That's been happening with Paquetá starting on the left. He's not a left winger. Paquetá should be playing in the middle, doing his own thing, having a free role, because you can't coach him. He does his own thing, which is going to be interesting to see when he goes to Man City, whenever. Because I don't know how Pep is going to sit him down and be like, you do my thing. Because no one could do that with Paquetá, but Pep will probably find a way. But
do you want to talk about the Declan Rice goal at all?
Yeah, we can. You want to start?
What a fucking peach! What a peach of a goal! First time as well.
Yep.
It was a beautiful finish. It was a beautiful finish, and I know.
Yep.
I understand, obviously, the history between him and West Ham, and that is why I respect him for not celebrating after the goal. Massive respect to him for that. But it almost felt to me as if, because they were booing him in the Carabao Cup game at the London Stadium, it's almost as if he went and said, all right, fucking have that. I'll give you 2 assists and a goal. How about that?
Well, I think it was just being professional anyway. But the thing is, I don't think he was affected by the boos because he clapped us at the end of that game. He went round and clapped the whole stadium clapped. And obviously he couldn't clap us now because we were left. But
who is there left to clap?
Yeah, there was no one there. But the thing is, the joy it made me laugh when I saw his celebration back because it reminded me of when Lampard scored against Chelsea for Man City. And it was like, he looked so depressed to score. He actually looked fucking upset that he scored. Like, I'm like, bro, I would have been, as me, I do not give a shit if you celebrate, as long as it isn't all of this towards like your old fans. I do not give a shit. He could have gone like this, like just put his arms in the air, done a Bellingham in front of the Arsenal fans or whatever. He could have done it basically. I would have given a shit. I would have cared anyway.
As long as he doesn't do something along the lines of Adebayor against Arsenal. As long as he doesn't do something like that. Then
Jesus Christ. Yeah, as long as no Adebayor, no like even Ronaldo celebrating against Man United for Real Madrid, like it's not that deep for me. Like, and it's not like Ronaldo did anything disrespectful. He just did a typical Ronaldo celebration. He just scored against Man United, celebrated, and Man United fans don't care because they still like him.
I think the only time that I saw Ronaldo celebrate against Man United was for Juventus when he scored the volley. And he ran over to the Juventus fan and lifted up his top. I don't think I ever saw him celebrate against United for Madrid.
I think he might have scored at Old Trafford.
Old Trafford, he went round the back. He scored against United at Old Trafford in the Champions League back in 2013. Went round the back of the goal and put his hands up.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, it might have been. Yeah, that might have been Juventus then. I forgot Juventus faced Man United when Ronaldo was there. And was that the Mourinho game? Was that the Mourinho game where he?
That was the Mourinho game where he went like that.
Yeah. That was funny. I think He's a clown, but I like him.
That's classic Jose.
Yeah, it's classic, Jose. And Chiellini was coming up to him like, bro, what you doing? No, allow it. But let him celebrate, bro. Let him celebrate. He was getting
100%.
booed all game because he was your former Inter. He was getting booed all game. And then he's like, "And what? I just did it in your own ground. What are you going to do about it?" That's exactly what Declan Rice did, but not without the celebrating.
He did it against Barcelona with Inter in the Champions League semi-final.
Yep, exactly. He went, just run. The guy just ran. You would never see actually no. Mourinho did run a couple years ago for Roma. They scored a last-minute winner. He ran to the crowd. This guy's the class. He's just class, like the way he celebrates.
Classic shithousery.
Yeah, that's what I like to see, honestly. And it's been a bit of a weird one. Mavropanos scored against you when we beat you, and now Declan Rice scored against us. I'm like, okay, well, like now what?
Do you know what though? The difference between that is the Mavropanos goal didn't really affect me because I never really saw Mavropanos in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit. Like the funny thing is, Arsenal fans are saying, "No one cares that you were at Arsenal, bro. You can celebrate." Like, no one cares.
No one remembers who he was.
Part of me didn't like the fact that he didn't celebrate because I'm like, bro, they threw you out. You weren't good enough to be there. Just celebrate, man. But this guy was like, I have to respect them. I'm like, all right, fair enough. But we went 2-0 up, and it wasn't that hyped anymore. And because there was all of this. Allow it. Just celebrate, man. It's not like your Declan Rice did. Declan Rice did like 4 years at West Ham. He
was
did 4
captain,
years.
Won a trophy.
Yeah, was captain, won a trophy. That's why he didn't celebrate. Like, he still likes the club. He still remembers the fact that we brought him through. We nearly didn't. We nearly released him. But one of the coaches was like, no, keep him. So, like, credit to him. He's doing well now.
What story would he have had then if you'd have let him go?
We wouldn't even known about him. But we wouldn't even we probably would have gone to another we probably would have gone Fulham Academy or something. Because he had an option to go to Fulham before. But we wouldn't have seen the same Declan Rice that we see now that played for Ireland and England. Won a trophy at West Ham, being in Euros finals, now playing for Arsenal. We wouldn't have seen that. And now I don't know where West Ham go from here because I can't see a win very soon. I don't know when our next win will be. I'm actually going to look at the fixtures now.
Yeah, who is your next game?
Forest away. That could go anywhere.
I reckon you get a draw out of that, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's not good enough for me. Oh, fuck me. The next fixtures, yeah? Forest away. Brentford at home. Everton away. Okay, Burnley at home. If we don't beat Burnley at home, fuck me. Aston Villa at home. Then Newcastle away at 30th of March. And, oh my God, April the 2nd, Tottenham at home. Bro, we could slip. We could really slip down the table. If we lose, by the way, Tottenham at home is a big one. Like, if you lose to Tottenham at home, I haven't seen a loss at Tottenham at home in a while. It's been a while. It's, we drew with them last year. We beat them the year before that. And it was when Mourinho's first ever game for Tottenham. That was the last time we've lost at Tottenham at home.
Oh, what, when Dele Alli kept the ball in play and then that led to a goal?
Yeah. So if we lose to Tottenham at home, it's going to get toxic. I remember I went to West Ham Liverpool last year at the London Stadium, and it was on the same day you guys faced City away, and we had a VAR decision that went against us. We got robbed, whatever. I don't care. But West Ham fans were so angry, one of them ran on the pitch trying to get to the ref. So this is my thing, yeah. If you see that West Ham Tottenham, fans are going to be pissed if we lose to Tottenham. Fans are going to be pissed. They're going to be pissed off.
I feel like if you don't win against Burnley, I feel like that should be a sackable offence.
You should be sacked now. But yeah, if we're talking about how other people should go off, Burnley's that one. I reckon we'll lose to Luton at relegation. Yep. I reckon we'll lose to Luton at home when we eventually face them. I reckon we'll lose to Villa at home. We used to beat Villa every year, and then they battered us. We used to beat Fulham every year, then they battered us. Fulham, before they beat us, we conceded 5 to Fulham. We conceded 5 to Fulham. And before that, they didn't beat us since Dimitar Berbatov was at their club.
Jesus.
Kevin Nolan got sent off, I'm pretty sure, in that game. I mean, of course he did. He got sent off nearly every week. But that was the last time we lost to Fulham. Then we get battered 5-0. And by the way, I couldn't even enjoy that Tottenham away win because that was 3 days after Tottenham away. 3 days after Tottenham away, we lose to Fulham. Like, I can't even enjoy the Tottenham win anymore. Like, I can't, like, this short-term enjoyment at this club. I couldn't even enjoy Man United, Arsenal, Wolves that much because now I'm facing all of these fixtures.
It's like a little hit of adrenaline, and then all of a sudden you get brought back down to earth.
Yeah.
Beat Tottenham, then concede 5 to Fulham. Like,
yeah. One thing, the only positive thing I said about this club that I'm still sure of is that we'll finish above Chelsea. That's the only thing I said because Chelsea is shit. Chelsea are dog shit.
Yeah.
We haven't finished above Chelsea since 15, 16, since when Leicester won the league. And Chelsea had a massive shit season. We will still finish above Chelsea, even if they win tonight against Palace and they're 2 points behind us, we'll still finish above them.
And
but they're shit as well.
Mention, the last time you finished above Chelsea, it was your last stadium at your real home.
Yep. Last season at Upton Park. At the actual West Ham stadium. The actual stadium. Do you know what's funny? Yeah, this stadium has so much potential if you actually put effort into it. But with no effort into it, it's just like going to a neutral ground. It feels like going to a neutral ground that plays I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. That's what it feels like. And it's always going to feel like that. People just don't complain about it anymore because we can't do anything about it. That's why we don't complain about it anymore. But I will never, ever not complain about it because the stadium's still shit. It's not even about it being far away anymore.
Doesn't feel like home.
I walk in and the seats are white. That's the main thing. When you walk into Upton Park, everything's claret all around. Claret stadium, claret seats. Just walk, and like if you walk into Arsenal, it's red. If you walk into Tottenham, it's like you dark blue or white. You walk into Chelsea, it's blue. Like etc. Like it's your color. Why is it white seats? Like it's basic things like that. It's basic things like a lack of atmosphere. For example, like if I start trying at one end of the stadium, the other end of the stadium, I'm not going to hear it.
Mm.
That's bad. That's a bad environment for a stadium. It's an Olympic stadium. It's an Olympic stadium. It's not a football ground. It was lazy. You know, Tottenham were in the running to get that. Tottenham and Leyton Orient. Imagine Leyton Orient in League One with that.
At this point, you should have just let Tottenham have it.
Imagine Tottenham moving to East London.
They couldn't be called Tottenham anymore.
Yeah, you have to be called Stratford.
Yeah.
Be called Stratford Hotspur.
Stratford Hotspur. Nice. That would have been nice as well because Tottenham fans like to get onto us about, you're not from North London, you come from South.
Woolwich.
You're from North London and you fucked off up the East.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, it would have been hypocritical. That's such a typical Daniel Levy thing to do, by the way. Move to a London
He's a
stadium.
money grabber.
Yeah, it's just a weird guy as well. Like this guy was like Tottenham are back this season. I don't know what that means. What does that even mean? Like it's not the 60s anymore.
Well, Tottenham ever there?
Exactly. I've never claimed something that West Ham. When West Ham are back, if I ever say West Ham are back, it's probably because we got relegated. Like that's West Ham being back. This is just West Ham being mid-table sort of thing. Like mid-table mediocrity is not why we moved stadium. I would have been happy being shit at Upton Park. I would have happily got every game because it was a fucking.
At least there would have been an atmosphere there.
Yeah, it would have been an atmosphere, great environment outside it. It was sick. I used to go for an alley. We used to call it Dog Poo Alley, full of dog poo. Try to avoid the dog poo throughout, trying to walk to the other end. When you walk to the other end of the Dog Poo Alley, go to a corner shop, and I used to have cherry drops, the sweets, and I used to get the program from the shop. They would sell it in the shop because it was right next to the stadium. Then I'll go in the stadium and sit down and maybe get some food. Maybe go on a hot dog stand and or get the food outside the stadium with local business.
Or even if you've got time before going to the game, go in a pie and mash shop. Classic grub.
Yep. By the time the fans left at half time, they probably could have gone to Green Street and get pie and mash there anyway.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god! Like every time this club brings you up, it just brings you straight back down. But let's talk about Arsenal a little bit. Yeah, fully fit team. Let's say you have a fully fit team at the end of February. Who starts for you? Start 11.
For me, I know it's not. I know it's not going to happen because clearly Arteta's chosen Raya over him. But I would have gone Ramsdale in goal.
Yep.
Ben White at right back.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel and Saliba as the centre backs, and then at left back,
Yep.
I probably would have gone Timber because Timber, even though he's smaller than Zinchenko, he's more defensively capable than Zinchenko. Yep. I'd probably go with two DMs in the middle, Rice and Jorginho.
Fully fit though, Thomas Partey?
Nah, fuck him off. Fuck him off. How many times has he been injured this season?
Yeah.
I feel like the amount of times he's been injured is just speaking volumes to me that he's not happy at the club, and I feel like we should just cut our losses, bring in someone else.
I feel like I know what's happening with Thomas Partey, but I don't know if I can say it on camera. I feel like I know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic that he couldn't go to the AFCON? He was fit, and then when AFCON came up, he was injured because it was in Ivory Coast, and that's related towards Spain, where he's not allowed to go back. So we got Rice and Jorginho in front of the back four. Then what's your front four?
Front four. Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, Ødegaard as the number 10, and then up front I'll probably go with Jesus.
Fair enough. Hey,
but Jesus but for me as a false 9.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's stronger as a false 9 than he is as an out and out number 9.
Yeah, I think regardless as well, if Jesus, even in general, him playing up front puts more reliance on your wingers scoring more goals consistently, and that's something that you've been lacking this season.
Yeah.
Like Martinelli and Saka haven't been to their level that they were last season. Like I wouldn't put them, for example, anywhere near team of the season if we were going to team of the season, for example. Yeah. But what I would say is that this is the crucial stage where Arsenal could turn up. Like if we was to look at, do you know your fixtures coming up?
I know the next two. I know we've got Burnley away, and then we've got Porto in the Champions League.
Okay, so I've got your fixtures up. So Burnley away, you'll win that. It'll be fine. Easy.
Yeah.
Porto away, what are you saying? Like, how are you feeling going towards Wednesday?
I think we get a win.
You think you win at Porto?
Strong performance away from home. Come back for the second leg.
I reckon you'll beat Porto. I reckon you'll get to the semis and then lose. But I reckon semis.
I've been saying quarters since the start of the season. I'd be happy with quarterfinals in the Champions League.
Because here's the thing, I think you beat Bayern Munich and I think you beat PSG. That's just my opinion. I think you beat them both. I don't think PSG are the same.
I feel like if we come up against a team like Bayern, we'll struggle. And I'm not just saying that because we've struggled against Bayern Munich every single time we've played them in the Champions League. But even though they're not doing well in the league at the moment, Kane always turns up against Arsenal. No matter what time of the season it is, no matter who's playing for Arsenal, Kane always turns up.
That defence, though, that's like they've got a West Ham defence. They've got Eric Dyer.
Why would they sign Eric Dyer?
I don't know. Thomas Tuchel, his talent ID is unbelievably shit. I watched that Leverkusen game. I don't know how they do. I don't know how they even second.
They've got Upamecano. They've got De Ligt. They've got Kim Min-jae. Why would you ruin those three defenders by bringing in Eric Dyer?
There's rumours that De Ligt and Kimmich are leaving in the summer.
I keep hearing the rumour floating about that De Ligt is coming to Arsenal.
I don't know who's been reporting.
That's the one I keep hearing.
The thing is, he wouldn't play. He wouldn't get in. He's not better than either of your centre backs. So I don't see him getting in. There would be no point, really.
I definitely feel like after we left Ajax to go to Juve, I feel like he should have stayed at Juve because at Bayern he's been made to look average.
Yeah, I think he was quite overhyped as a wonder kid anyway. I don't think he's gone to the same promise. Like if we look at all that Ajax team, even Frankie De Jong is not really doing much. Not really doing much at Barca. And from what I've seen, he's getting berated in the press by the Spanish people a lot. But after Porto away, you lot go to Newcastle at home. Well, not go to. You've got Newcastle at home. You probably want revenge from what happened at St. James's Park.
Yeah.
Then you got an easy game. You got Sheffield United away. You'll be fine. I know they're defensive, but Aston Villa put 6 past them. Like you'll be fine. Brentford at home is a hard one because you never know. You win, but it won't be easy. Like
No.
Ivan Toney's there. Like I think because you did beat them at home last season. I know it was a bit of a robbery.
We drew.
Yeah, but Ivan Toney, even though he'll probably go to Arsenal, he always turns up against Arsenal. Him and Mopai up front.
I fucking hate
you're an
Mopai.
absolute
I
disgrace.
hate Mopai.
You're an absolute disgrace.
I hate him, man, with a passion.
Then you've got Porto at home. Then
Just-
Chelsea at home. That's probably your easiest fixture.
Yeah, that's a nailed on dub.
Yeah.
Because I don't see
think-
Pochettino coming up against us with something that's going to blow us away.
Not at the Emirates. Not at the Emirates at all.
No chance.
I think you could potentially put 6 past them. Chelsea.
I mean, we put four past them at the Emirates last season.
It was a 4-1.
Yeah, 4-1.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying though. Like you guys have got easy fixtures, but then I remember someone saying last 4 fixtures you got Tottenham and Man United away.
Yeah.
Those are massive games.
Yeah.
Tottenham this season, like they're open, but you drew with them at your ground. Man United are shit, but they always turn up at Old Trafford against you. It's old because it's Man United Arsenal. Like you can't.
Yeah.
You don't win at Old Trafford. You haven't won at Old Trafford since lockdown.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
The
And
Aubameyang
before
penalty
that-
in 2020.
And I can't remember the last time you beat them with a crowd. At Old Trafford.
No, neither can I.
Wiltord? Was it? Are we going that back? Are we going that far back? Is it still
No,
Wiltord,
not that far
is it?
back. Not that far back. Probably Adebayor in 06-07. Nicked it with 5 minutes to
Probably.
go.
Yeah. Number 25.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like some of those records, you could break. It's the best chance to break against Man United. Yeah, I know you've lost to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Man United. You've lost to even Michael Carrick Man United. You lost it when Ronaldo scored a penalty. I think you lost 3-2, and that was Michael Carrick was in 2 games in charge. But you're a better team than you are now, and Man United
100%.
haven't really done much at all. So if you was to imagine, could you imagine this year? I don't think you're going to win the league. I don't think it's going to happen. But imagine you could win it at one of their stadiums again. Imagine
That'd be
that.
brilliant, wouldn't it? That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
In the internet era, it would break. The whole internet would break. If that would happen, the internet would break. It would break in half.
It would be amazing, but I feel like it would be even better. Say, obviously, I don't think it will happen. But imagine if we was to win the league at the Etihad.
Oh my lord!
Because we've never won the league
Lord.
there. We've won the league at Old Trafford. We've won it at White Hart Lane. We've won it at Anfield. I'm pretty sure we've won it at Stamford Bridge.
Probably.
So the Etihad will just be able to add that to the list, but I don't think it will happen. I feel like if it was to happen, if we were to win the league this season, it would definitely be at somewhere like, if we were to win it at someone else's ground, it would definitely be at Tottenham or at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and that would be crazy as well. Like, I would love for us to win the league at the Den or something like that. Like if we like
the
one,
Championship.
like, oh yeah, they're not gonna make the Premier League. That shit.
Never. Did you see their game against Coventry yesterday? Ugh.
Yeah, I was watching it on the way to the game.
It was so
Oh my
poor.
God.
1-0
up, and you bottle it, and you fucked it up, and then we got beaten 6-0. Do you know what's funny? I always see Millwall fans laughing whenever West Ham get battered in the Premier League. I'm like, bro, you will never ever reach the Premier League. You will never ever reach the Premier League.
You're Millwall or not?
No, we've only seen 3 seasons in the Championship in the Premier League era. Like Millwall are dead. Like at the Den, fucking hell, the Den. Imagine being at the Den and watching a Premier League game. That's like, I don't know.
I think there's 2 reasons why that would never happen.
Why?
Main reason, obviously, Millwall ain't good enough.
Yeah, that shit.
They ain't a Premier League level team. If they come in, they'll break a worse record than Derby.
Oh, facts.
And the second reason is I don't think the FA would allow it.
The FA would allow
especially
fans.
if you're coming against West Ham and it's at the Den or the London Stadium, and you know what those two sets of fans are like, very hostile, willing to kill each other over a football game.
Yep. Millwall have history with West Ham, Palace, and Chelsea. Those three teams, if they come to the Den, long. It's long. Like the police, the amount of police that would be there, you'll be lucky to get in. The London Stadium, There probably wouldn't be fans there because there'll be so much police trying to get in there.
The day that Chelsea or West Ham turn up to the Den, that would be the perfect day for people to go out and commit knife crimes because all the police would be at the Den.
Yep. Literally, like that would be too insane. Like everyone's like, oh, I want to see Millwall get promoted so we can see Millwall West Ham. I do not want to see Millwall ever promoted. I want to see Millwall as far down the pyramid as possible. I want them to get relegated to League One, then to League Two, do a Sunderland in the fucking Football League. That's what I want. I want you to go and face all the way down to Dagenham and Redbridge. I want you to go all the way down there, my local team, so you can get beat by Dagenham and Redbridge. And then you can go further down. Then you can beat #United. You go further down. Then you can beat.
Speaking of.
Oh shit! Yeah, you went the shot. Then you go further down. Then you can face Bolognians and Goodmays, like in Sunday League.
And then after
that's how
far. Maybe UTR or SE Dons.
Yeah, under the radar versus Millwall.
Toby would have a field day.
Oh god. Imagine Manny against, I don't know, some random bald geezer.
Against Jed Wallace.
Millwall are funny, man. Every time I'm having a bad day, I just think it could be Millwall.
Yeah.
It could be Millwall. Even then, I could be Chelsea.
Exactly.
I could be Chelsea. Chelsea are really, really bad.
With Chelsea, you've got a manager that would rather speak about how much he loves Tottenham than actually manage the club that he's employed by.
Imagine going to Chelsea and be like, oh, I love my time at Tottenham. Like, bro, shut up. Like, bro, just shut up, man. Have respect for the club you're at. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you wouldn't
That's what I love about Mourinho. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's like, the club I'm at now, listen, I'll do everything to get a trophy. I'll do anything.
You go.
Couldn't do it at Tottenham because they sacked him after he got to a final.
And employed Ryan Mason.
Oh, by the way, Tottenham fans. Why are Tottenham fans laughing at West Ham? Brother, your North London rivals are in a title race. You claim to not care about us. You claim that we're not a derby. It's nothing for you. It means nothing to you. You claim it's our cup final whenever we face you, even though you set off flares when you beat us last season. So why are you laughing at us? We literally lost to your biggest rivals. So clearly, you're the not even younger child in North London.
You're the adopted child.
Yeah, you're adopted. That's what you are. You're adopted. Like all these guys, like Vicario, Squarehead, Van der Ven, Romero, you're all only childs. Like, come on. I don't want to hear Tottenham fans talk about, oh, look at West Ham fans walking out 6-0. When you were losing 3-0 at the Emirates, it was a fire drill there. When you lost 1-0 at our ground, fire drill. When you lost 2-1 at your ground, fire drill. There's always a fire drill coming.
I was at that game. The 3-0 inside 30 minutes, and I was going off from start to finish at Tottenham fans. Obviously, I had Leicester go off after half time because they all buggered off.
Yeah.
And then that save from Ramsdale. Oh my God, fingertips.
Yeah, I remember that game. It makes me laugh. Tottenham fans so dumb, man. Why do you always laugh at us when we lose?
The worst thing about that game was as well, our first 3 games of that season, we lost 3 and conceded 9.
Yeah, you lost Brentford,
Chelsea, won all 3
and
of
City.
their first 3 games. Yeah.
Yep.
We lost against Brentford, Man City, and Chelsea. They won all their first 3 games. One of them being against Man City, and then all of a sudden it just flips.
Yep. Then they lost to other teams as well. I can't remember. Like Nuno got battered everywhere he went. Like West Ham beat them then as well. West Ham, Palace, Arsenal, and Chelsea. So they got beat by every part of London. Every part of London beat Tottenham. So North London, you got spanked. East London, you got spanked. South London, you got spanked. And in your own ground, the West London team spanked you. You got spanked everywhere you go. That's why you was literally getting battered everywhere you went. Everywhere
Tottenham
you
get
went.
battered everywhere they go.
Joey, it fucking hurt me to hear West Ham get battered by Arsenal fans. When do we ever? We barely even say, like this season. I was like we don't sing about each other, whatever. I had to witness that, but I should have left. I should have left. I didn't want to hear that. I should
I
have
could have
left.
sworn. I could have sworn I heard Arsenal fans switch up the chant that you made for Lucas Paquetá. You know, they just sold my car to Lucas Paquetá.
I didn't hear that in the ground.
I'm
I heard
pretty
that
sure I
online.
heard them switch it up. I'm pretty sure I heard an Arsenal fan sing "Just sold your star to Mikel Arteta."
I saw the banner. I didn't see the chant. I didn't hear that.
And then,
No, I heard the 10 more years Declan Rice chant. That was a remix of
yeah,
another chant that we did as well.
yeah, that was the chant that you made for him after you won the Conference League. I swear.
Yep. I was at the parade singing that. And now look where we are. I'm fucking tired of this club, man. I'm so tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of this club.
Don't forget, man, I was you 3 years ago. Obviously not as bad, but we were back to back 8th place finishes.
Yeah, that's fucking crisis for Arsenal. So I get that. And don't get me wrong, this is not as bad as other seasons, but it's just I expect better from like higher standards of the past few years now. Like standards have to go up. I'm not here to be like, well, look where we've like last year's excuse. Well, look how far we've come. Like we've been here before. Like so, stop moaning. So every year is like stop moaning because of this because of that. No, this is not the year for stop moaning. We can't keep putting up with this.
Yeah.
Even in the season where we came 7th, we barely won a game in 2022. We won like 8 games in 2022 or something like that. It was something stupid. And we barely won a game at the back end of the season where it was important. We lost at Old Trafford again in that season when we were battling with a managerless Man United, a guy who was a director of football that came in as an interim, and they still beat us. Moyes needs to go. Moyes, just go. Please, just leave. Like, for the love of God, like, I'm not going to disrespect his legend status. I'm just criticizing him now.
Yeah.
Just go. Like, you gave us a trophy. Please, thank you for everything. Leave. Don't tarnish any. Like, you probably can't tarnish a trophy, but just don't tarnish any more of your legacy now, because we're not getting back into Europe. Every interview this guy does, he's like talking about, well, every time when I came in, but twice I came in, and twice we were in a relegation battle. Brother, that was 4 years ago. Stop. Always about the past. Imagine like Fergie added it, and he was like, "Well, I won the title last season." He's not about that. He's like, "No, let's win it this season. I'm disappointed. Let's win it this season." And he even extended like the delay of his retirement so he could win the league on his last season. That's what real managers do. The real managers keep their standards high.
Did it with Van Persie as well. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh yeah, shit. He scored 20. He scored 20 goals, had 20 on his back, and they won the 20th league. I'm pretty sure, something like that. He might have scored more than 20, but
scored a beauty against Aston Villa as well.
Oh, that Aston Villa! I'm pretty sure that was the goal to win them the league as well.
Yeah, he scored a hat trick that game and won them the league. And then the next game, we had to give him a guard of honour.
Oh my God!
Apparently, he said it was one of the worst moments of his footballing career. He wanted it over and done with. He didn't want to do it.
The thing is, he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave. He was like, "Give me a new contract," but us were like, "We don't do this with this age. We don't give contracts this long for people of this age." They disagreed over a contract, and then he went to Man United.
He had a choice of either United or City, apparently.
Oh God, it would have been better for City though. It would have been better to go to City.
I can understand his reasons why he wanted to go to United. If he had those two choices, obviously Man City coming off the back of winning the league in a dramatic way, the Aguero moment. They've obviously got Aguero at the club. It's going to be a fight between him and Van Persie as to who gets the starting spot in the team. So I feel like if he did make the decision, if whatever decision he made to make his final choice, it was the right decision in going to United.
But even at the time, they were still playing 2 up front. So Tevez would have left because Tevez was already falling out with Mancini. But he came back and then he would have been let go in the summer. Then they would have had Balotelli, Dzeko, Aguero, Van Persie.
Everyone fell
Fucking
out with
hell.
Mancini, man. Everyone fell out
Oh
with
yeah,
Mancini.
I've seen so many stories about Mancini. Like you seen the Nasri story?
Yeah.
I saw Lescott do the Nasri story, bro. That was hilarious. Like the guy was having a fight with your former player. The guy was a coach. I forgot his name. He was the assistant manager, but he used to play for Arsenal years ago.
I'm trying to think.
I get you. I need to look up. I need to look it up.
I can't remember his name.
I used to remember him as the guy who looked like Lee Dixon. That wasn't Lee Dixon, but so let me look this up. Roberto Mancini, assistant coach, Man City. I think he's assistant coach now in Saudi's Yaya Toure. Who was it? Why
He's
can't I find
probably
it?
even more entertaining than Lee Dixon as well.
Probably. I've just found the picture of the guy. David Platt.
David Platt.
Yeah. I don't know. He just looked like Lee Dixon to me. It was like a BTEC Lee Dixon. Like, in certain pictures, he looked like Lee Dixon. I don't know why.
Yeah,
But he
but
just did.
yeah, but funnily enough, Platty came about before Lee Dixon.
Yeah, he looks older. So
Yeah.
he's probably old as fuck now. But how far do you think? Where do you think the season will finish? How do you think it will finish for Arsenal? Like Premier League and Champions League. You're not in our cups anymore, so how do you think it'll end?
It for me, it all just depends on not only our performances on the pitch, but the performances of everybody else. I
Many
feel
injuries
like
as well.
I feel like when it comes down to the nitty gritty of the season and it's so tight at the top, it always comes down to what if this team slips up? What if this team picks up a poor result? Can we then go and capitalise? It always gets like that towards the end of the season. So it is going to be a tough battle. Do I think we'll win the league personally? No. But like I said, anything can happen. And fingers crossed something magical does happen.
Do you think it'll be similar to last season? How you lose it, like a few games left, or do you think you'll go right to the end?
That's what I'm thinking, because obviously we had that big blip during the Christmas period as well, where we lost against you guys and then Fulham, and
Yeah.
we picked up a few poor results in that. I feel like if we were to lose it, it would be, for me, worse than last season, because with last season we was on a good run of form and then all of a sudden it just petered out. But with this season we've had a bit of a bad patch of form in the mid part of the season. We've clicked into gear now. So if we were to lose it now, it would be even worse for me than last season.
So City have a game in hand, and they'll probably win against Brentford at home, which is their game in hand. I think they. I don't know whether they play it this week or next week. It might be next week, but because I think they have Champions League this week. But for example, City win, and they are 24 games. They'll be on 55 points. You'll be on 52. What I will say is that you are only a couple slip ups away from being like really behind City. And what I feel like is that City can chase a team down with 8 points and behind, as we saw in previous season, like last season and a season with Liverpool. However, Arsenal and Liverpool used to be able to do that. I don't know whether this new Liverpool team can. I think Klopp and Trent and Salah and Van Dijk and the core of that team, they know how it feels. A lot of them don't. But with Arsenal, it will be worse than last season because you guys should have learned from last season. You guys should have learned your lessons from last season because it was your first title race in ages last season. We could be like, yeah, Arsenal did bottle it because they were at the top, but they can learn to go in from this, and then maybe second season you never know. I thought you guys would be in the title challenge, but I thought third, and I think third or second will probably be the thing now. It'll be between you guys in Liverpool, how your European campaigns go, how your injuries go, because both of you guys have injury-prone players as well. Like I think that's what City don't have really, apart from Stones maybe. I don't think they have many injury-prone players from what I can remember.
I definitely think that the European football sets us apart from Liverpool, because obviously we're in the Champions League, whereas Liverpool, they're in the Europa League. Obviously, we know how that feels. But the case of them having to play on a Thursday night and then only getting the option to play on a Sunday or a Monday, whereas if we play on Tuesday or Wednesday, we can play Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
So it all depends on how fatigued, especially when it comes to Liverpool, how fatigued the team is going to be coming towards the end of the games in the Europa League.
Because they'll push for that. Because we discussed about Klopp before. Like, I don't think they're not gonna fall for any trophy. They're gonna go for every trophy that they can. because they're in a final and they will go for 3 more. And with Arsenal, they've got 2 competitions. Champions League's probably, I would say, slightly less realistic.
Yeah.
And mainly because Arsenal's history in the Champions League and the fact that this is your first season back.
After such a long time. That's exactly why I said quarterfinals, because I feel like since this is our first Champions League season in 6 years, I feel like quarterfinals is a respectable performance from us in terms of being out of it for that long. We finished top of our group and we managed to go further than the last 16, which we always seem to fall at.
I think also as well, like, let's say quarterfinals. Let's say you guys go out quarterfinals. I think if Arteta is still being backed and Arteta is still building, next season will be, okay, we're going to really compete for the Champions League next season. We're going to really try and go for, like, the whole trophy. We're like, and you guys have to, in my opinion, because, like, what's the point of just, like, throwing away cups? Because the whole point to build the mentality is to get cups in. Like, that's how my Man City went Carabao Cup every year, like, for a few years. And then that would kick on their season for the league title.
Yeah.
And then they can say, I did leave with something. I left with a trophy. And sometimes they would even pick up an FA Cup. They won the treble last season. They could have won a quadruple if it wasn't for the mighty Nathan Jones of Southampton.
Yeah.
And that's why that's what builds a winning mentality. Is like Arteta can win a trophy with his own team, but he never really seems to get over the line. Sometimes he either throws it away himself, or it'll be like Liverpool, where it's unfortunate. You guys were probably the better team, and then Liverpool punish you. Like, you got to build a winning mentality by winning more stuff, especially at Arsenal as well. It's not like we're not talking about some club that have never won a league before. It's just been a long time. And I'm sure fans, so there's going to be a lot of Arsenal fans that are frustrated and going to be like, we'd want to win a league for, like, the first time in years. I've waited so long to win a league. Let's win a league now. Like, you got to build towards that. Like, the Champions League as well next season is a different format as well, and you're probably going to need more depth for that.
Yeah,
because it's a league format. It's a league format, and then it's a knockout competition.
I still haven't got my head around it, to be honest.
Joy is the only reason why I know a little bit about it is because it's on Football Manager, and they put you in the league, and, like, I think the first 8 qualify straight away for European for the knockouts, and then the second 8 teams are like 8 and, like, 9th to 16th. They will be in a playoff, and then it goes through knockouts. I don't like it. I think it should just stay the way it is. But that you're going to need more depth for that, because the Champions League games are going to come around more often. It's going to be like the Championship, where you play like 2 games a week.
Yeah,
and, like, you're going to need a lot of depth next year. Like, and you're going to have to figure out this left back situation. You're going to have to figure out the striker situation. You're going to have to figure out shit. You back?
Yeah.
You're going to have to figure out the winger situation as well, the midfielder situation. Like, there's a lot of things you need to figure out before you can go right to the top. Like, you think the Champions League is something you got to go for, like, next couple of seasons, surely.
Definitely.
Like, you guys, do you think you'll be ready to be even better to compete for the Champions League next season?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously this season isn't done yet. We've got to focus on this season, but obviously with the new format coming in for the Champions League, it's going to be difficult for us to get our heads around it, obviously, because we've been so used to this format for so long. And then after one season of the current format, we're moving to another one. I don't think we might be. It's all ifs, buts. It's all if, buts, and maybes. Going into next season, I hope that we can compete, because I'm sick of hearing it from fans. From fans of Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea, champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. I'm sick of hearing it. I'm even hearing it from Nottingham Forest fans, for fuck's sake.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa as well. It gets annoying.
Yeah.
It gets annoying, especially as we're meant to be this big club. We've not won a European trophy. I think we've won the Cup Winners' Cup. That's not even a trophy anymore.
And the UEFA Cup, I think, years ago.
No, we lost the UEFA Cup.
Oh, what? Before it was Europa League, did you not win the UEFA Cup?
No, we lost the UEFA Cup to Galatasaray.
So was it like 2 Cup Winners' Cups or something? Because you guys have got 2, right?
I think it's 2. It might only be 1. I'm not too sure.
I'm going to look up Arsenal European trophies. Wait, it comes up with the fucking Champions League fixtures. I don't want to know that. Have Arsenal won any? Yeah, 2 European honours. You've won the Intercities Fairs Cup in 1970
Fuck knows what that is.
and Cup Winners' Cup in 1994. So you haven't even won the. I thought you won the Europa League when it wasn't the Europa League, but the only time the last Europa League final that didn't go well for you lot. Chelsea won. Is that up there with one of the worst games, like as a fan?
Yes.
Because you got battered in that final.
To get to a final and then lose it so badly.
Like and I remember watching Hazard. That was Hazard's last game. It was like, I'm going to have one of the best games I will ever have as my last game for Chelsea. Like, we all know he was going to Real Madrid and become fat. We didn't know that part, but the guy. But Hazard was like, that's my last game. Like,
leave on a high.
Yeah, and also there's in a mix. Klopp's leaving. Liverpool won't be the same next season, so surely it gives you more of a chance to compete.
Yeah,
for the Premier League. Like you'll
100%.
you'll surely be at least second. Like, try to push City. Like,
we'll be the next team to push City.
Yeah, because even if they get Xavi Alonso, whoever they get, it's not going to be the same Liverpool. It's not going to be plain sailing throughout the first season. It's going to take time. It will take time.
Definitely,
no matter who they get.
Because Klopp's the nucleus of that team. He's brought it all together, and you take that away, it's going to be difficult. And I'm hearing reports. I keep hearing reports of certain players that are going to be leaving after Klopp goes.
Well, the big one, Salah, because it's Saudi.
Van Dijk.
Yeah, the Van Dijk
entirely
one's
clear
just
whether
rumours.
he'll stay on.
Yeah, the Van Dijk rumours is just, he was quoted and people exaggerated it. He was just quoted in an interview.
Only time will tell, though.
Yeah. Obviously, they'll still have, it depends on their recruitment. It depends whether their owners will invest heavily. When their manager definitely will, whoever their new manager is going to want his own team.
Yeah.
He's going to play completely different. And it might not even work for the first manager. The first manager might not even work. They might dip out of top 4 completely. You never know.
Yeah.
So that should give Arsenal more of a platform to be like, okay, we're next.
Yeah.
Where City, we're coming. Like, we're coming for you, sort of thing. But it also depends on recruitment. I feel like you guys need that. I feel like you're a midfielder away as well. I feel like midfielder, striker, left back. Like, Timber will come back, but midfielder and striker as well. Because I want someone to play with Rice and Odegaard. What kind of midfielder do you want, though?
Someone consistent.
Do you want like someone? Do you want Rice to go a bit further forward and someone behind him? Do you want someone that's just a normal number 8?
I feel like it would be a good idea for us to get someone along the lines of who also can play in that DM role and then is strong enough and consistent enough to play well in games, so that if Rice wants to push forward, he can, and there's no risk of us being caught on the break. I
feel like I've said this before. Like, I feel like with the right coaching, Rice is an 8. And the reason why I say that is because the guy can drive forward and score goals, but he needs the right coaching to be like, okay, this is how you do it, sort of thing. I think at City, he would have, if he went to, like, if Man City had paid the money and he went to City, he would have been playing like the John Stones role, where he goes from centre back to midfield. Because as an out and out centre back, Rice isn't the same player. I've seen it before when he's filled in before. He's not the same player. But a centre back going into midfield, that could have been perfect for him at City. But I think at Arsenal, if you just get a proper DM, if you can't get a number 8, get a proper DM and get Rice to drive forward with the ball. He'll add goals to his game. And he can keep the ball. He's good under pressure. He's physical, and he'll be harder to beat by having someone that's just as strong and just as physical next to Rice.
100%.
You guys will be harder to beat. Like the way you're set out off the ball is very hard to break down, even regardless. Like, you just press so much, and then even when you don't press, you can't play through you. Can't play through you. Especially when you had Partey and Xhaka last season. No one could play through that, really, apart from City. And then it all came down to fine margins. So I think Arteta just needs to be like, I'm going to win a trophy, and I will win a trophy. And then he has to prove that he's the man to do that.
Yeah.
Because he's proven that he's the man to get top 4. He's the man to compete for titles. Is he the man to win the title? There's still question marks.
Only time will tell.
Especially because he's still young, I guess. But he's learning on the job still till this day. But also, this goalkeeper situation. Do you think Ramsdale will go in the summer?
I don't want him to, but if he does, I won't blame him.
Because you made the Ryan deal permanent.
If
Like,
he
you've
does
triggered the
go, I
obligation.
won't blame him, but I don't want him to go because of what he's
Yeah.
done for the club.
Only thing is, I don't know where he would go. I don't know who wants the goalkeeper right now. Your audio's cut off. You got muted. Your audio's cut off. Try jumping in and jumping back out. Make sure to like the video, guys. Make sure to subscribe while Alfie comes back. I don't know how long this stream's going to go on for, but we'll be talking about more stuff as well. I want to talk about. Hopefully, it's the last time I talk about West Ham 0, Arsenal 6. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, so make sure you get us there, and make sure that you know someone that isn't subscribed that can subscribe, so we can be on this journey and we can reach our goal in this year. That would mean a lot, guys. But yeah, just gonna add.
Of course they wouldn't.
Yeah, and then look, your sweet coming out the fridge, and they're all running up to me, and I was like, the froze.
You all good, yeah?
Yeah, all good, all good.
All right, cool. Where do you think if Ramsdale was to go though, where do you think he'd go? Because who needs a goalkeeper right now?
I feel like I don't know who exactly needs a goalkeeper, but I feel like if anyone was in the mind of buying a goalkeeper, anyone would be lucky to have Ramsdale. He's one of those. He's one of those goalkeepers. He's fantastic. I feel like for me, I don't know about anyone else. I feel like he should start over Pickford for England. Obviously, we're quite a way away from the Euros, but at this moment in time, I feel like he should be England's number one, and I feel like any team in the Premier League would be lucky to have him as a keeper.
My thing is with England, Nick Pope has always been my favourite because he's always been like he can save pretty much most shots. I think distribution Ramsdale's the best. I think Pickford has actually played very well for England, and I think probably gets bad PR at Everton. I don't think he makes as many mistakes as people see it. But what I will say is Ramsdale's the best kicker. He's the best kicker out.
Yeah.
If you're trying to play out, especially if you're trying to play out from the back and all that stuff, you got to put Ramsdale in all the England keepers. But I think it's like the rumours were at the time Newcastle because of Pope's injury, but Pope is going to come back. Chelsea because Robert Sanchez, but now they found Petrovic as the number one. So I don't know who would come in. I have a feeling that Ramsdale would want to leave, but unfortunately he might suffer with being second choice again at Arsenal, like for another season. Because when is he going to get games? Like he's not going to play the Champions League.
I'm just hoping that isn't the case, and if he is of a mind to go. He does go because I would hate for him to be having to be stuck on the bench week in week out while Raya's putting in brilliant performances. Because no doubt about it, for me, Ramsdale's a fantastic keeper, and it would just be a waste to see him sat on the bench every single game. Because obviously there was a lot of doubts when he came in from Sheffield United, obviously coming off the back of 2 relegations.
Yeah.
He proved us all wrong and we all got behind him, and now he's just been chucked to the side as if it meant nothing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Arteta clearly thought, I don't know, Raya and all that stuff. I think Raya, it's been a while since he made a mistake, to be fair. He's not done bad, but he's done quite well recently. Yeah, what have you made of his performances recently?
He did have a good performance against Liverpool. I will admit that. Apart from the little mix-up for the Liverpool equaliser, I did think like he had a really, really good game.
Yeah.
Didn't really have anything to do yesterday against West Ham. But overall, past few games, he's had some good performances. Whether that will be the case going forward, time will tell.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to sit there and watch Raya put in good performances, knowing the kind of player we got on the bench.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. That's why you can't have 2 number ones. Because the only other team that I know that does this is Brighton, and they rotate their keepers all the time.
Yeah,
like they have 2 keepers, and they rotate them all the time, and it works for them. But that's because neither of them have probably been told you're number one consistently. But the problem with this one is now Ramsdale was number one, and now after a couple mishaps last season, David Raya's now in, and he didn't start well. had to settle into the nerves of being an Arsenal player. And now he's playing well. Now Ramsdale's just sitting there, and you kind of like Ramsdale's probably a great character off the pitch, but he's probably not happy with, like, he probably can't fully celebrate within himself because like I was doing this. He's
Yeah.
probably I was the guy helping Arsenal towards a title charge, but now
Yeah.
now it's David Raya. Now he's on the bench sitting there like, oh, I want to play. But overall, I'm gonna end the stream there, because I don't want to talk about this game anymore. We've done an hour and 25. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, guys. Alfie, where can they find you?
I will send you the link to all of my social links, so you
Yep.
can put that in the description. Obviously, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all of the main ones.
Okay, no problem. In the future we're gonna have more streams, guys, but I've got to work out with the StreamYard stuff, with the subscription and all that stuff. When I can, I will stream regularly, but for now, it will be just pure videos until I can stream on a regular basis. As I said, like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.